Welcome. King Charles III has returned to Buckingham Palace after delivering the Labour government's plans for Britain at the state opening of Parliament. This was the first time a Labour government's agenda was presented from the throne in 14 years. The 75-year-old monarch was welcomed back to the royal residence with the national anthem, concluding a day of pageantry and centuries-old tradition. The new Labour government, led by Prime Minister Keir Starmer, stated they would fix the foundations of this nation, but acknowledged rebuilding would take time. Charles and Queen Camilla, who is celebrating her 77th birthday, processed to Parliament in the Diamond Jubilee State Coach, facing some anti-monarchy protesters along the way. Once there, they went through the Sovereign's entrance and took their seats in the House of Lords. The historic event included ceremonial rituals like the roll of Black Rod, who summoned MPs to the Lords. Charles then delivered the government's legislative agenda, which included major reforms to areas like planning, transportation, and immigration. After the speech, Charles and Camilla departed, officially starting the new parliamentary session. They wore their finest royal attire, including coronation-era robes and crowns, underscoring the pomp and circumstance of the occasion. This year's parliamentary hostage is Samantha Dixon, the Labour MP for Chester North and Neston, taking over from Joe Churchill, the former MP for Berry Street Edmonds, who held the role last year. During the traditional state opening ceremony, 10 members of the protest group Youth Demand were arrested in Westminster on suspicion of conspiring to cause a public nuisance after the group announced plans to disrupt the event. The Metropolitan Police reported that Youth Demand had stated they intended to disrupt the ceremony, and officers arrested 10 of the group's members an hour before the event. An additional 20 to 25 protesters had gathered in Victoria Embankment Gardens, leading to further arrests. Last week, the group had called for supporters to assemble at Victoria Embankment Gardens on the morning of the ceremony to protest Prime Minister Keir Starmer's handling of the Israel-Hamas conflict. During the King's speech, Charles outlined Labour's plans to take the brakes off Britain. He stated that the government's legislative agenda would be mission-driven, focused on security, fairness, and opportunity for all. The government's economic policy would prioritize stability, with plans to subject tax and spending changes to independent assessment. The speech also emphasized the government's commitment to securing economic growth, establishing a new partnership with businesses and workers, and introducing a New Deal for working people to ban exploitative practices and enhance employment rights. Plans were also outlined for greater devolution, including an English devolution bill, new powers for metro mayors, and reforms to bus and rail services. The government recognized the urgency of the climate challenge and pledged to pursue a clean energy transition to lower energy bills for consumers over time. Please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos.